Good morning, everyone. Today is another day in your clinical training. We are moving from theory to practice with the IV insertion return demonstration. This is not just about poking a patient, but it is about demonstrating a systematic, safe, and aseptic approach to one of the most common invasive procedures in nursing. During your demonstration, we will be looking for your confidence, your technique, and above all, your commitment to patient safety. Before we begin, let us be clear on the goals for today's assessment. You will be expected to correctly identify your patient, select the appropriate equipment, and maintain a sterile field. We will be assessing your venipuncture technique and how you handle the catheter once you see blood return. And finally, we will verify that you know how to stabilize the site and document the procedure according to hospital standard. Every procedure starts before you even touch the patient. First, verify. Check the physician's order. Is it for fluids or just a saline lock? Identify your patient using two identifiers. You can ask the name and date of birth. Next, assess. Ask about allergies to latex or adhesive. Check the patient's history. Do they have a mastectomy, a fistula, or a recent stroke on one side? If so, that arm is off limits. We want to set ourselves up for success before we even open our kits. Organization is the key to a smooth IV start. Gather your tray and check your supplies. Is the catheter package intact? Is the saline flush expired? One common mistake that students make is forgetting to prime the extension set. Before you go to the bedside, you must flush the small tubing with saline to remove all air. If you connect an unprimed tube, you are introducing an air embolism risk. Have your sharps container nearby. This means safety first. Now we look for the target. Follow the distal to proximal rule. Start at the hand or lower forearm. If we blow a vein in the antecubital space, we can no longer use the veins below it. To make the vein pop, use gravity. Let the arm hang. Apply your tourniquet 4 to 6 inches above the site. Look for a vein that feels like a bouncy, soft balloon. If it feels hard or cord-like, move on. And remember, never slap the skin. Gentle tapping only. Asepsis is the difference between a successful IV and a systemic infection. Wash your hands and don your clean gloves. Prime the system by flushing the extension set with a saline to remove the air. When you use your chlorhexidine swab, use friction. Scrub back and forth for 30 seconds. You must let the antiseptic air dry completely. Do not blow it and do not fan it with your hand. The chemical kill happens during the drying process. Once it's clean, never touch that site again. This is the moment of entry. Anchor the vein by pulling the skin with your non-dominant thumb. This stops the vein from rolling. Then hold the catheter at a 10 to 30-degree angle. Bevel up. As you enter the skin and then the vein, watch the flash chamber. The moment you see blood, stop. You have reached the vein. If you keep pushing at a steep angle, you will go through the back wall of the vein and cause hematoma. Once you see that flashback, drop your angle almost flat against the skin. Advance the whole needle and catheter unit just another 1 to 2 millimeters. This ensures that the plastic catheter, not just the sharp needle tip, is inside the vein. Then now, while holding the metal needle, slide the plastic catheter forward into the hub. You should feel no resistance. Then immediately release the tourniquet. This is a common step students forget in the heat of the moment. The needle is out, the catheter is in. Apply pressure above the catheter tip to prevent blood from leaking and connect your primed extension set. Now, secure it. Use a transparent dressing like Tegaderm so we can always see the insertion site for complications. Loop your tubing and tape it securely so that if the patient moves, the tension is on the tape, not on the catheter itself. Label it with the date, time, gauge, and your initials. Your job isn't over once the tape is on. You must monitor the site. If the skin is cool, pale, and swollen, it's infiltration. The fluid is in the tissue. If it's red, warm, and painful, it's phlebitis. The vein is inflamed. If you see these signs during your shift, your nursing action is clear. Stop the infusion, remove the IV, and restart at a different site. Always prioritize patient comfort and safety. If it isn't documented, it did not happen. In your chart, you must record the date, the time, and the exact location of the IV insertion. For example, left cephalic vein, 22 gauge catheter. Also, document the patient's response. Did it take one attempt or two? Well, the standard is no more than two attempts per nurse. Did the patient tolerate it well? This is your legal record of care. Now, these are the sources or the references of the image that are used in this discussion. Everyone must now be ready to move to the next step. Remember, take your time, maintain your sterile field, and talk to your patient throughout the process. It's okay to be nervous, but stay focused on the steps we just covered. Are there any questions about the checklist or the technique before we begin the return demonstration? Thank you very much again for listening.